The client, the end user, is BHP Illawarra Coal. Since the demerger, they're now South 32. We were actually contracted to Howden, who designed the vent fans for this installation, but we had access to both BHP and Howden. BHP recognised that in this particular area they were going to run out of resource by late 2014. So obviously they'd need to put measures in place. To move on to a new seam, they would need new ventilation, and that's where this came about. So the intention was to have a ventilation system in place so that the new seams underground could be accessed in time before the old seams ran out. So the scope of work, broad picture, is clearly to create a ventilation system that will provide air for the underground operations. Howden would be the company that would design and install mechanically the vent fans. RJE's role is to make sure that they've got power and control so that the whole thing runs smoothly and runs remotely, runs automatically. So our scope of work would be both the main power source, and after that delivering that power source to the vent fans, and through automation and through control mechanisms, monitoring and make sure it ran smoothly. At the design stage, these are three of the biggest fans that have ever been installed in Australia, so there's that to cope with. The timeliness, clearly, because the client has got an absolute cut-off date where if that is missed, they're going to miss production, and that's big dollars. The location, again, another challenge. It's a sensitive location, about 80 kilometres southwest of Sydney, but next to a township, Douglas Park. So a lot of things have to be taken into consideration that would impact on how you would normally create one of these installations. Obviously, there's a dollar figure to attach to it. It's not an unlimited budget. So by the time we've married that all together, we end up with a solution. There was a challenge with Douglas Park, the township, being so close by that from a mechanical point of view, we had to make sure that dust and noise was deflected away. And also light pollution. If an installation of this nature, when it's dark, if it's highly lit, that can disturb people. So we came up with solutions for the level of lighting. We made sure that there were no tall masts involved for lighting and lightning protection. The whole vent fan was wrapped in soundproofing, which makes it difficult for accessing instruments and the like. So that was a problem that everybody joined in with, and obviously we weren't directly involved with liaising with the township. That's BHP's job, but the solutions everybody was happy with. The beauty of RJE is we can provide a full package. So we initially have to bring in a 66 kV switchyard that's providing the power down to the vent fan installation. Once we've done that, as far as the vent fan installation is concerned, we then have to dedicate a switch room to each fan, because the whole idea of this is that it never breaks down, or if one portion breaks down, other portions can cope with it and take over from that. So we started off with the switchyard, delivering power. We then take over with the vent fan installation, fire through with that. Oh, I think the key highlights with this would be really having to work as a team with other people, because it's a split operation. We didn't have access, anybody involved in the project, we didn't have access to the whole area at once. So the timeliness of it was critical. And especially with such a critical endpoint where there is no breathing space. Ironic for a vent fan, but there you go. So I think we were quite proud that when problems occurred, which will always crop up on a project of this size, is that you can cope with it. So when problems were happening with the timeliness, say, of the shaft being sunk, as that was being pushed out more and more, which is outside our control, we had to adapt our schedule, adapt the resources we have on site to cope with that, so that by the time we get to the end result, it might not have gone exactly according to plan, but you've coped with it, you've responded to it, and we were quite proud that we could do that on such an installation. The overall result for the client is that they got what they wanted, which is that this thing was operating in time for them to run smoothly from one resource closing up and another resource needing to open up. and that's one thing we can be proud of. The takeaway for ourselves is there's always lessons to learn. Fortunately, not too big for us in that we foresee things, we've built these things before, so it went as smoothly as an operation of this size could do. So I would say the result for the client is continuity of operation. That's absolutely critical to them because it's big dollars.